All right, I want to read a quote to you. Remember, I talked about how we frame growth, and it's leadership that frames growth. It's you, Doc, that frames the growth and makes growth an exciting thing for your team. This is a quote that comes from the noted entrepreneur, philanthropist, Graham Weston. Graham Weston. Everyone wants to be a valued member of a winning team on an inspiring mission. Let me repeat that. Lots of wisdom right there in leadership. Everyone wants to be a valued member of a winning team on an inspiring mission. So as you talk about growth, you've got a winning team, Doc. I'd like to think that if you're a listener of Less Insurance to Bennett's podcast, you're growing and developing a team, a winning team. So everyone wants to be a valued member. Value means you've got to show that they are valuable to you on an inspiring mission. What's the inspiring mission here? Helping more patients have great oral health. And maybe you expand that. Maybe it's helping patients have great oral health and the smile of their dreams. Now, frame it that way. That's what I talked about. And download the replay and you'll hear my 5 specific strategies. Naren, I'll summarize Steve Jensen's. The next speaker was Steve Jensen. He was from Dental Intelligence, and he talked about secrets of top performing practices. And what he did was he pulled back the curtain on certain KPIs and shared with you data from over 10,000 offices, 10,000 offices. And he shared them in different formats where he could say top 10% offices were doing this. Bottom 10% was doing this, and the medium was doing this. The medium was doing this. And to me, that was a really powerful presentation, Aaron, because it was data-driven. Data never lies. People do, but data never lies. For example, he talked about in the top performing practices, what percent of hygiene occupancy do they have? Meaning of the available hygiene appointments, what percent are filled? What's in the top 10% of over 10,000 offices? What are the top 10% practices producing per hour? And many other data like that. Very, very useful because it was all drawn from data, not drawn from opinions or thoughts or guesswork. It was drawn from data. Aaron, you talked about the buyer's journey. Summarize or tease our listeners a little bit about why they need to get the download so they can hear what you said.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, absolutely. So the dental buyer's journey is really, really important, right? If you don't have the right map, the right way to think about something, doesn't matter how hard you work, you're not going to get to where you want to. So imagine having a map of any city, Toronto, Chicago, Phoenix from 40 years ago, and you're trying to navigate Phoenix today based on a map of Phoenix from 40 years ago. Phoenix is totally different today than it was 40 years ago. So definitely you're going to get lost. So the entire theme of my presentation is, how do people go about making a decision on which dentist they're going to see for what? So today, 90% of the people start with researching on Google. So step 1 is, are you showing up? So if the dental buyer's journey is they are starting by researching on Google, 90% of your new patients, are you the one they're finding when they type in a particular keyword? So let's say the keyword is dentist near me, or emergency dentist, Phoenix, or sedation dentist, a particular zip code. They're typing these things and literally there are hundreds of these keywords. Are you showing up? You have 2 ways to show up. One is through ads and one is through search engine optimization. The advantage through search engine optimization is like, it doesn't cost you any money per click because you are showing up as the free organic result from Google. So that's one benefit. The second advantage is those who come through SEO trust you. Like, remember, we don't watch a TV program or any program to see the ads. We watch the program for the sake of the program. Same thing. They're using Google and typing in those phrases to see what the actual results that Google is recommending. So because they trust you, they are much more likely to spend time on your website, buy from you, versus the ones who come from ads. They're not likely to spend time on your website and they're not likely to buy from you. So that's step 1. Like, how do people search and are you showing up when they search? Ideally through SEO. Step 2 is, okay, fine. They saw you and let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume you are in the top 5% of the websites that's ranking for 95% of the keywords. If you are in that case, you're ranking for hundreds or more keywords. They go to your website and because they trust you, they'll give you 90 seconds because it's not an ad. Now, in those 90 seconds, what do? They want to decide if you are the right office for them, right? I mean, a lot of times, like all parts of healthcare, dentistry is very personal. So is this a doctor that I feel comfortable with? Do I like this doctor? Do I trust this doctor? Do they have expertise in the thing that I'm interested in? We all know, we have specialists, right? Somebody who's really, really good at Invisalign may not be exceptional at sedation or vice versa. So one of the questions people are asking is, are you really good at Invisalign? If that's what I want. So having before and afters, having those pictures, perhaps even having simple videos that kind of breaks the ice, so to speak. So before they even call your office, they kind of get to see you, get to listen to you, get to like you. So what are you doing in the step 2 of the journey to encourage people to choose your office versus your competition's office? And
And I'll
last but not
comment,
least,
Aaron, that second step is all about how you've adapted Robert Cialdini's 7 fundamental principles of influence on every website you ever designed, so that anybody that lands on the website is being influenced in a positive way to choose you as their dental practice.
thank you, Gary. Absolutely. So the first step is all about Google and SEO, if you want to do really well. And the second step is all about Dr. Robert Cialdini. And I'm certified by Dr. Robert Cialdini. And, so we implement a lot of his principles in how we design websites and how we get patients to choose our dentist.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
as we think about that event, the title of the entire event was Secrets to Thriving in 2024. And it was just a whole lot of fun. We had a great time. We had awesome audience. We had great sources of information, and we want to make it available to you. So as we wrap up today, let me encourage you, go to thrivingdentist.com/recent event. Simply register there, and we'll send you the recording of the event. It's 2 hours in length. I think you'll really enjoy it. You'll enjoy the data. You'll enjoy the interpretation of the data, and it'll leave you with lots of takeaway information you can use in your practice. Well, as we wrap up today, thank you for the privilege of your time. We appreciate each and every one of you. And I have a request. My request is that I'm going to ask you to be a hero to one of your colleagues, or maybe more than one of your colleagues. Likely you go to CE events with dentists, maybe a dentist you attended dental school with, maybe people you've just connected with through your own CE journeys. And I can assure you that every dentist would appreciate listening to that replay. So share that link, thrivingdentist.com/recent event. Share that with your colleagues. Share that with your local study club. Share that with the doctors you attend CE with, and be a hero to them. It's free, lots of useful information, and I can assure you that anybody that watches and listens to that event that we did on the 23rd will get valuable information. Let me thank you in advance for doing that. On that note, thank you for the privilege of your time. Naren and I look forward to connecting with you on the next Less Insurance Dependence podcast.